Welcome to Silicon Scoop, where we dive into the latest tech news impacting the world. Join John Irwin and the Startup Coach as they explore the tech news that matters to you. Stay ahead, stay informed, and now on with the show.
Hollywood's worst nightmare just materialized as a hyper-realistic, unauthorized video of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt went viral without either actor stepping on set. ByteDance just unleashed Seedance 2.0, an AI video generator so powerful and legally reckless that it has an entire entertainment industry sounding the alarm. What do you think about this, John?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, it's scary. So let's just start out by what this is first. So it's an AI video generator that combines image to video and text to video capabilities. So you can produce short videos by simply entering NLPs, like natural language prompts. So it can generate animated sequences with sound, camera motion, and narrative coherence, which is all driven by this large multimodal AI model that's trained on vast amounts of audiovisual data. This is scary. Now, obviously, looking at the video, you can tell that it is not real right from the get-go. But this is the closest, in my opinion, that we've gotten to something like this with real people, where it is an action scene in that. So, yeah, this is scary. Do you what are your thoughts on the video that's been generated here? Do you think it's closer to realistic, or do you still think there's a long ways to go?
I think we're getting there. And I mean, again, they shared the prompt. It wasn't a very big prompt for this. Some other people have gone in and done more prompts with sound and audio and people talking and different people fighting and stuff. And it's just getting better. It's getting there. And I think, people can complain and whatnot, and we'll get into that. Like Seedance 2.0 is highly advanced text-to-video generator, as you can see, from the parent company of TikTok that produces cinematic clips with realistic camera movements and lip syncing. So all of that combined together, we've come a long way from the Will Smith eating spaghetti. It recently went viral for generating photorealistic deepfakes of AI celebrities, triggering a fierce backlash from major unions like SAG-AFTRA and the MPA over mass copyright infringement. So does this accelerate the death of traditional content licensing and forces an immediate existential legal showdown over who owns human beings' digital likeness? I think what we're seeing, we're going to see that. They, as we talked about it, they went after them. At first they said, we don't care. Then they kind of said, okay, we care. We're going to back off. We're going to put some more rules in place. But when you look at this stuff, we're starting to see that it will eventually take over Hollywood. It's taken over YouTube. It's just a matter of time. But the question is, what parts? Like Hollywood, they're fighting it right now, but they should be using it. When I say should be using it, and a lot of them are, they're just not telling you, they should be using it for special effects. They use it for creating mock-ups right at the beginning before anybody does anything. You can get AI to create some panels and stuff to get the idea. And then once they agree to the thing, then someone will actually do it. Not related to what images were created kind of thing. There's a lot of things they could do. Like CGI and special effects, why aren't we using AI for those things, right? As a result, they're digitally generated anyway. It becomes a question of who owns the rights of a voice, who owns the right of a speech, of a face. If I look like Tom Cruise, can I now make videos of someone who looks like me doing these things? Or am I going to be... It brings in all sorts of issues. And we've seen some people sign off their rights to say, okay, I think it was Darth Vader. I can't remember the actor's name who signed off his voice for Disney to use it.
Oh, was it James Earl Jones? No.
Yes,
really?
I believe it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
So it's happening. And the last strike had a lot to do with AI, but they're just letting AI in. So I'm curious to see what this is going to mean for Hollywood and video games. Like, I haven't had a chance personally to access things like Google Genie. Have you? Which is that virtual world. At first, when someone looked at it, I'm like, what's the big deal? And then once you start thinking about it, you can do almost anything with it. So if you can generate a virtual world with a prompt that you can explore and do whatever you want in just by adding prompts, what do you need video games for?
Yeah, true. Well, here's the thing. Here's the impact here. So what this release Seedance 2.0 is likely going to do is it's going to accelerate policy debates on AI and copyright. We're already seeing calls for clear legislation and international standards. So what happens next? It actually, this is a critical, for me, that in my opinion, this is a critical point. This could shape the future of generative AI, balancing creative freedom, technological process, and legal protection. So I understand why there's not much being done right now quickly, because I think they want to do it right, which is great. But the problem is that what happens when Seedance 3.0 is out, and they still haven't caught up with policies and stuff. So there's that, and we've talked about this before, is how fast technology is accelerating compared to policy writing, right?
And are the policies going to be global? So what's acceptable in China is going to be acceptable in the US or the UK or Europe, so we're going to have to see. But also with you, I've always thought in the past 10 years, and maybe they're doing it, they're not really taking advantage of green screens in movies and TV properly. And when I say that, I mean they should be using green screens for anything someone drinks. If you pick up a can of pop, that should be a green screen can of pop. If there's a picture in the background, that should be a green screen picture. If there's a postcard on the fridge, because now you can sell advertising in perpetuity on shows that are running on Netflix and other things and change it by season. So that sticker on Seinfeld thing might be Disney World in 1 year, and it might be their competition the next, for example. As a money-making thing, but where you can start implementing these tools in a different kind of way. But you're right that the problem is who owns the rights. And this has been an ongoing thing we've talked about in the past, where companies are suing. You can make Disney-like images, you can make this-like images, you can make other for images. Now this is happening at the video level. So some precedents have to be set, and we're going to have to see, how it happens. The media industry historically was powerful enough that they put a surcharge on every CD. There was a tax, blank CD or DVD was added to it, so that because they assumed a certain amount of people were just going to copy illegal stuff on it and they wanted their payment. Are we going to see images and video generation start carrying that kind of tax, or is something else going to happen? What are you thinking?
Well, here's the thing, though. Why does it, how are they going to tax it? Because this is a global thing. Before, with CDs and stuff, it was controlled by a few people, and it was controlled by the people who were releasing the music. Now it's out of everyone's control. It's out of the people who own the copyright. It's out of their control. So how are they going to tax it? How do they do that? Unless, sure, the government could step in.
This is the same thing. The manufacturers of DVDs and CDs, blank ones, had nothing to do with the music industry, but yet they came in and said, yeah, sorry.
Okay, well, maybe. And who knows? I think what we need, I have no clue what this looks like, but we need to completely revisit, potentially, or redefine what copyright means. We need to go back to the fundamentals and figure out how copyright is defined in this new age.
Definitely, and we can see this happening, and big money players are involved now. So we'll have to see how this comes out in 2026, where this, ByteDance is backing off. A lot of these companies are backing off, but you can still create a lot of this stuff through third parties or using workarounds, or
you just jailbreak any AI. There's all these. I've never tried it, but apparently, there's all these. There's different strategies for each LLM that you can jailbreak and get it to do anything you want. So if someone wants to do this, regardless of what measures they put in place, they can still do it.
Yeah, so this comes down to, what is the action going to be? Is it going to be a fee to the providers at this point, which would be the AI companies, or will it be the AI companies have to hand over their information to whoever and they come after us, like the cable industries? if you watch movies or whatever illegally, you'll get a cease and desist notice from your cable provider or internet provider or what have you saying, hey, you did this thing. Are we going to see that kind of thing saying, well, we're just going to go after the end users because they're doing this thing improperly and start suing the crap out of them? And once we have 2 or 3 high profile, people will stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the Wild West right now.
Yes.
They'll have to put some rules in place to bring this under control because whole industries are going to be affected. And, people get mad. I know I've got attacked online for posting AI created images, specifically of pineapple pizza, but I don't really understand the issue, but that's a whole other discussion. But if you're copying someone's art, if you're copying this goes back to Google and all these AI companies serving up summaries of information that they scrape from other articles and no longer pointing back to those companies. So there's a lot of stuff going on in AI content. Who owns the copyright, whether it's information, whether it's style, whether it's a medium, the copyright system has to change. And it has to change at a global level to some degree, but we're going to have to see what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a long-winded way. Seedance 2.0 proves that the technology to replace traditional filmmaking is pretty much already here. Not quite, but there. But the brutal legal war over who gets to control it has just begun. If an AI can generate a perfect brand new blockbuster movie starring your favorite actor from the 90s, are you watching it, boycotting it? Let us know in the chat.
Tired of drowning in repetitive tasks while your competitors race ahead? Every minute you spend on manual data entry, scheduling, and routine processes is a minute you're not growing your business. Flowgrammer.ca transforms your workflow chaos into seamless automation. We build AI-powered systems that handle your busy work so you can focus on what actually makes you money. Our clients typically save 15 plus hours per week and see their productivity double within 60 days. Visit flowgrammer.ca for a free automation audit. That's flowgrammer.ca. Stop working in your business and start working on it.
What do you got going on, John?
Just plugging away, helping companies with government funding, attending events, probably startup drinks or Flowgrammer events. How about you, Craig?
Lots of stuff going on. I honestly don't know when this is going out. I have to check. I think it's going to go out in April. But there's all sorts of stuff going on. If you don't know about OpenClaw, it's the latest AI automation agent that's taken the world by storm in 2026. And OpenClaw Toronto chapter just launched. And we have all sorts of events going on. So check out openclawto.com. Our first demo night is April 14th. We have a Builder Cafe on April 10th. We have a bunch of other events. There's updates every day. We've deconstructed the latest 2 betas over the weekend that was launched in OpenClaw and what you should do about them. There's a bunch of articles over there. Go check that out. We're also over at flowgrammer.ca where we do N8N automations. We run the Flowgrammer community. I do Builders Hub and connectivity for AI and business automation agents. And for everything else, head over to TorontoStarts where we hook up startups and investors at our Startup Investor Drinks. We do mentoring, we do workshops, we have a list of investors. There's a whole bunch of content over. You can also book me over there if you want a meeting with me to talk about whatever, help your startup. Check out TorontoStarts.com. But John, if people are looking for non-dilutive funding, where should they go and what is that?
Yeah, non-dilutive funding. We're talking government grants, tax credits. Come find me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Right now is Shred Time, SRNED. But come reach out to me too if you've got a startup, if you've got a company. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and if they have company questions about their startup in general. Where do they find you, Craig?
Yeah, find me at TorontoStarts.com. But John, just before we go, something's open right now, and it's closing May 31st. Thank you. Can Export. And what?
Yeah. So
what
if
should
you have
people
at
know
least
about that?
300,000 in revenue in the previous year, and you're looking to expand outside of Canada, reach out to me, and we can put together. We can talk about an application for Can Export.
All the links we talked about will be in the show notes, wherever you're watching this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Silicon Scoop. We hope you enjoyed this episode's dive into the latest tech news. Stay connected with John Irwin and the Startup Coach on LinkedIn and subscribe for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay ahead, stay informed.